Guys, I still can't believe it. Rafael Nadal has officially announced his retirement. This is an end of an era. 22 Grand Slam titles, the king of clay, but more than that, the heart and soul of tennis. And yeah, we all saw it coming with injuries piling up, but hearing him say it, it just hits different. But here's the thing. What if I told you that Rafa missed 16 Grand Slam tournaments because of injuries? Today, I want to walk you through the journey of how Rafa kept bouncing back when his body kept failing him. Let's get into it. So, it all started way back in 2003. Rafa was just 16 and people were already calling him the future of tennis. But even then, injuries were like this dark cloud hanging over his career. From missing his first French Open to the recent injuries that ultimately led to his retirement, Rafa's journey wasn't just about winning matches. It was about fighting his own body and winning. But now it's time to look back and honor the man who never gave up, no matter how many times his body did. Now it's 2004. Rafa's making waves, even beat Federer in just 17. People were starting to take notice. But then guess what? Stress fracture in his foot. This happened in a match against Richard Gasquet. He had to pull out of the French Open again. And not just that, he missed Wimbledon that year too. So back-to-back big tournaments missed because of an injury. Most people would have been pretty down about it. But Rafa, no, he kept working. By 2006, Rafa's already killing it. He had won his first Grand Slam at the French Open in 2005 and people were saying he was Federer's biggest rival. But then another injury. This time it was his foot again. He had to miss the Australian Open. Imagine that. Your body keeps betraying you when you're right top of your game. But Rafa, he never slowed down. Okay, this one was tough. 2009 Wimbledon. The year before, in 2008, Rafa had beaten Federer in one of the best matches ever. Everyone was ready to rematch, but Rafa's knees had other plans. Tendinitis in both knees. He had to pull out of Wimbledon. He couldn't even defend his title. People thought this might be the end of his peak, but man, Rafa came back stronger. By 2012, Rafa had been through a lot, but his body was still giving him trouble. His knees acted up again, and he had to miss both the Olympics and the US Open. Can you imagine missing two of the biggest tournaments in 1 year? A lot of people thought this could be it for Rafa. But he came back as always in 2013 and started winning again. In 2014, things were going great again. Rafa won his 9th French Open and he was ready for the US Open. But then, just before the tournament, he injured his wrist. Yeah, another injury. And he had to skip the US Open. It was just one thing after another with his body. Still, he always found a way to bounce back, even when most people thought he should stop. 2016 was a rough year. Rafa had to pull out of the French Open because of another wrist injury. And then he missed Wimbledon too. Two of the biggest tournaments just gone. But Rafa, he didn't quit. He came back next year and as always, he kept fighting. 2020 was a weird year for everyone because of COVID. Rafa was the defending champion for the US Open. But he didn't even go. He didn't want to deal with the bubble situation, and honestly, who can blame him? He decided to sit out, but it was another Grand Slam he missed. Even when it wasn't his body giving out, something always seemed to be in his way. And now, in 2023, Rafa has been fighting a hip injury for a while. He had surgery and missed the French Open, Wimbledon and the US Open in this year. It's so sad because of Roland Garros in his place, right? That's his code, but this time it seems like his body has finally said that's enough. After all these injuries, he's finally stepping away from the game. 16 Grand Slams missed because of injuries. 16. But even with all of that, Rafa still won 22 Grand Slams. That's just insane. Imagine how many more he could have had if he stayed healthy. But you know what? The fact that he achieved this much with so many setbacks, that shows how strong he is. Not just as an athlete, but as a person. Rafa didn't just beat his opponents. He beat the injuries, the pain, the doubts. And that's why he's a true legend. Anyway, that's the story of Rafa. It's been a wild ride, full of ups and downs, but man, what a career. Even if he's done, his legacy is going to last forever. Rafa showed us what it means to keep fighting no matter what.